All right.
Atu, did you want
Yeah,
to?
yeah. Good morning, friends. Welcome to our weekly read and discuss session. Um, Today we are reading a book, Untethered Soul, The Journey Beyond Yourself. We are on chapter 6, The Secret of the Spiritual Heart. Um, Wendy is going to read the chapter for us first.
Chapter 6, The Secrets of the Spiritual Heart. Very few, very few people understand the heart. In truth, your heart is one of the masterpieces of creation. It is a phenomenal instrument. It has the potential to create vibrations and harmonies that are far beyond the beauty of pianos, strings, or flutes. You can hear an instrument, but you feel your heart. And if you think that you feel an instrument, it's only because it touched your heart. Your heart is an instrument made of extremely subtle energy that few people come to appreciate. In most human beings, the heart does its work unattended. Even though its behavior governs the course of our lives, it is not understood. If at any given point in time this heart happens to open, we fall in love. If at any given point in time it happens to close, the love stops. If the heart happens to hurt, we get angry, and if we stop feeling it altogether, we get empty. All these different things happen because the heart goes through changes. These energy shifts and variations that take place in the heart run your life. You are so identified with them that you use the words I and me when you refer to what's going on in your heart. But in truth, you are not your heart, you are the experiencer of your heart. The heart is actually very simple to understand. It is an energy center, a chakra. It is one of the most beautiful and powerful energy centers and one that affects our daily lives. As we have seen, an energy center is an area within your being through which your energy focuses, distributes, and flows. This energy flow has been referred to as Shakti, spirit, and Chi, and Chai, Kai, and it plays an intricate part in your life. You feel the heart's energy all the time. Think about what it is like to feel love in your heart. Think about what it is like to feel inspiration and enthusiasm pour from your heart. Think about what it is like to feel energy well up in your heart, making you confident and strong. All of this happens because the heart is an energy center. The heart controls the energy flow by opening and closing. This means that the heart, like a valve, can either allow the flow of energy to pass through or it can restrict the flow of energy from passing through. If you observe your heart, you know very well what it feels like when it's open and what it feels like when it's closed. Excuse me. In fact, the state of your heart changes quite regularly. You can be experiencing great feelings of love while in the presence of someone until they say something you don't like. Then your heart closes toward them and you simply don't feel the love anymore. We have all experienced this, but what exactly is causing it? Since we all have experienced the heart, we might as well understand what's going on in there. Okay, I'll stop here.
Okay, I will go next. We begin this analysis by asking a fundamental question: what is about the structure of the heart center that permits it to close? What you will find is that heart closes because it becomes blocked by stored, unfinished energy pattern from your past. You need only examine your everyday experiences to understand this. As events take place in this world, they come in through your senses and have an impact on your inner state of being. The experience of these events may bring up some fear, some anxiety, and some, or maybe some love. The different experiences happen inside because how you take in and digest the world as it passes through you. When you take in the world through your senses, it is actually energy that is coming into your being. Form itself does not come into your mind or heart. Form stays outside, but it is processed by your senses into energy pattern that your mind and heart can receive and experience. Science explains this sensory process to us. Your eyes are not really windows through which you look into the world. Your eyes are cameras that send electronic images of the world into you. This is true for all senses. They sense the world, convert the information, transmit the data from the electrical nerve pulses, and then the impressions get rendered into your mind. Your senses are indeed electronic sensing devices, but if the energy pattern that are coming into your psyche create disturbance, you will resist them and not allow them to pass through you. When you do this, the energy pattern actually gets blocked within you. This is very important to understand. Uh, this is very important to better understand what it's like to have these energies stored within you. Let's examine what it would be like if nothing was stored. What if everything just passes right through you? For example, when you're driving down a highway, you probably pass thousands of trees. They don't leave impression on you. They are gone as soon as they are perceived. While you are driving, you see trees, you see buildings, you see cars, and none of them make a lasting impression on you. There's just a momentary impression that allows you to see them. Though they come in through the sense and make impression upon your mind, as quickly as impressions are made, they are released. When you have no personal issues with them, impressions process freely. This is how the overall system of perception is meant to work. It meant to take things in, allow you to experience them, and then let them pass through so that they are fully present in the next moment. While this system is in working in operative state, you are fine and it is fine. You simply have experience after experience. The driving is an experience, trees passing by an experience, cars passing by are an experience. These experiences are gifts that are given to you like a great movie. They are passing into you, awakening and stimulating you. They are actually having a profound effect on you. Moment after moment, experiences are coming in and you are learning and growing. Your heart and mind are expanding and you are being touched at a very deep level. If experience is the best teacher, there is nothing that comes close to the experience of life. What it means to live life is to experience the moment that is passing through you and then experience the next moment and then next. Many different experiences will come in and pass through you. It's phenomenal system when it's working properly. If you could live in that state, you would be a fully aware being. This is how a awakened being lives in the now. Their present life is present and the wholeness of the life is present through them. Imagine if you are so fully present during each experience of life that is touching you to the depth of your being. Every moment would be simulating a moving experience because you would be completely open and life would flow right through you. I'll stop here.
Okay. Excuse me 1 second. Oops. To find the book again, sorry.
Page 41, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I somehow clicked on something and lost the book. So I have to go back on my drive to find it.
Mhm.
There we go. Okay. Page 41.
Yeah.
It starts with now that we understand where blockages are. Oh no.
No.
43. Sorry. So where are we? I'm sorry, I lost.
Yeah. So we are on the, but that's not what happens inside of us.
Okay. But that is not what's happening inside most of us. Instead, it's more like you're driving down the street. Here comes the trees, here come the cars, and it's all passing right through you with no trouble. Then inevitably something comes in that doesn't make it through. There was this car, a light blue Mustang, that looked like your girlfriend's car, but as it passed by, you noticed two people hugging in the front seat. At least it looks like they were hugging, and it sure looked like your girlfriend's car, but it was just a car like all the other cars, wasn't it? No, it wasn't just like all the others' car to you. Let's look carefully at what happened. Surely the camera of the eye, there's no difference between that car and others. There's light bouncing off objects passing through your retina and making visual impressions on your mind. So at the physical level, nothing different is going on. But at the mental level, the impressions did not make it through. When the next moment comes, you no longer notice the rest of the trees. You're not seeing the rest of the trees. Your heart and mind are fixated on that one car, even though it's gone. You've got yourself a problem here. There's a blockage, an event that got stuck. All the subsequent experiences are trying to pass through you, but something has happened inside that has left this past experience unfinished. What happens to that experience that didn't make it through? Specifically, what happens to the image of the girlfriend's car if it doesn't just fade away into deep memory like everything else? At some point, you will have to stop focusing on it in order to deal with something else, like the next stoplight. What you don't realize is that your entire experience of life is about to change because of what did not make it through you. Life now must compete with this blocked event for your attention, and the impression does not just sit in there quietly. You will see that your tendency is to think about it constantly. This is all in an attempt to find a way to process it through your mind. You didn't need to process the trees, but you need to process this. Because you resisted, it got stuck, and now you have a problem. You see the thought start up, well, maybe it wasn't her. Of course it wasn't her. How could that possibly have been? Thought after thought goes on inside. It drives you crazy in there. All those inner voices, noise is just your attempt to process the block energy and get it out of the way. Long term, the energy patterns that cannot make it through you are pushed out of the forefront of the mind and held until you are prepared to release them. These energy patterns, which hold tremendous detail about the event associated with them, are real. They don't just disappear. When you're unable to allow life's events to pass through you, they stay inside and become a problem. These patterns may be held within you for a very long time. It's not easy to keep energy together in one place for long. As you willfully struggle to keep these events from passing through your consciousness, the energy first tries to release by manifesting through the mind. This is why the mind becomes so active. When the energy cannot make it through the mind because of the conflicts with other thoughts and mental concepts, it then tries to release through the heart. And that is what creates all the emotional activity. When you resist even that release, the energy gets packed up and falls into deep storage within the heart. In the yogic tradition, that unfinished energy pattern is called samskara. This is a Sanskrit word meaning impression. And in the yogic teachings, it is considered one of the most important influences affecting your life. A samskara is a blockage, an impression from the past. It is unfinished energy pattern that ends up running your life. In order to understand this, let's first take an in-depth look at the physics behind these blocked energy patterns. Just like energy waves, the energy that comes into you must keep moving, but that doesn't mean it can't get blocked within you. There is a way that energy can both keep moving and stay in one place, and that is to circle around itself. We see this in atoms and in planetary orbits. Everything is energy. Energy will just expand outward if it is not contained. For there to be manifest creation, energy must get in the dynamic cycling around itself to create a stable unit. That is why energy manifesting as an atom forms the basic building block of this entire physical universe. Energy cycles around itself, and we've discovered atoms have enough harness energy to blow up the world when the energy is released. But unless forced otherwise, the energy will stay harnessed because of its equilibrium state. Do you know how much there is left, guys?
Uh, Actually, one one page is left,
Okay.
so we can split it up.
Okay. I will read one more paragraph.
Okay.
One more paragraph. The process of cycling energy is exactly what happens with a samskara. A samskara is a cycle of stored past energy patterns in a state of relative equilibrium. It is your resistance to experiencing these patterns that causes the energy to keep circling around itself. There's no other place for it to go. You won't let it. This is how most people process their issues. The packet of cycling energy is literally stored in your energetic heart center. All the samskara you have collected over your life are stored there. Okay.
To fully appreciate what this means, let's go back to the example of light blue Mustang that looked like your girlfriend's car. Once the disturbed energy patterns are packaged and stored in the heart, they are basically inactive. I may look at to you like you have handled the situation and that you have no more issues with the experience. You may not even mention the event to your girlfriend because it would look like you are jealous. You didn't know what to do, so you resist the energy, and it got stored in the heart, where it could fall into the background and not be bothersome. While it may seem like it is done, like it is all over and gone, it really isn't. Every one of the sanskaras that you have stored is still there. Everything that did not make it through you for the time you were a baby all the way to this moment is still inside of you. In these impressions, these sanskaras, the incrust that incrusts the wall of the spiritual heart. That incrustation builds upon and resists the energy flow. Now that we understand where the blockages within the heart come from, we have answered the structural question of how the heart gets blocked. We can certainly see the potential of the impressions to build up to the point where very little energy can make it through. If they build up sufficiently, you will find yourself in a state of depression. In that state, all becomes dark. This is because very little energy is coming into your heart or mind. Eventually, everything appears negative because the world of the senses must pass through the depressed energy before it gets into your consciousness. But even if you aren't prone to depression, your heart still gets blocked over time. It just builds up. It doesn't always stay blocked, however, depending upon the life experience, it can open and close quite frequently. This leads us to our next question. What is the cause of these frequent changes in the state of heart? If you watch carefully, you will see it is related to the same stored past impression that caused the blockages. The stored energy pattern are real. A samskara is actually programmed with specific details of the event that could not pass through. If you experience jealousy because you thought your girlfriend hugging someone in the car, very detailed data about the event is stored in samskara. It has the event's vibration. It has the event's nature. It's even retain your level of sensitivity about the event. To see this, let's watch what happens in future. And 5 years later, you are no longer with your old girlfriend. You have married someone else. You are much more mature. One day, you are out driving out with the family, have a wonderful time. The trees go by, the cars are going by, and then a little blue Mustang drives by. The two people hugging in front of the guy. Indefinitely, something changes in your heart. Your heart actually skips a beat. This is the start. Then it starts beating faster. You start getting moody, irritated, agitated. You aren't having such a nice day anymore. All of these inner changes occur because your heart got disturbed when you saw one particular car. It's truly amazing to step back and look at this process. 5 years ago, for just few moments, an event took place. You never discussed it with anybody, and now later, fire blue Mustang drives it and changes the energy flow through your heart and mind. And unbelievable as it seems, it is true. And it is not only true about light blue Mustang, it's true about everything that didn't make it through you. No wonder you have. No wonder we are so old, man. No wonder heart keeps opening and closing. The energy stored there is real and it interacts with the flow of the current thoughts and events. The dynamics of this interaction cause the vibration that are stored as samskaras to get activated sometimes years later. This is what happened with the light blue Mustang. Understand, however, that it didn't even have to identify. It didn't have to be the identical car to activate the stored energy. It could have been a black Mustang or any other car with people hugging. Anything in the neighborhood has the potential to stimulate samskara. The point is that the past impressions do get stimulated, even old ones. They affect your life. Sensory inputs from today's event dig through all the stuff you have stored through the years, and they restore the exact past patterns associated with the incoming events. When Sanskar is stimulated, it opens like a flower and begins to release the stored energy. Suddenly, flashes of what you experienced when the original event took place rushes into your consciousness, the thoughts, the feelings, sometimes even the smell and the other sensory input. Sanskar can store a complete snapshot of the event. It is way beyond any computer storage system created by the human beings. It can archive everything you are feeling, everything you are thinking, and everything that happening surrounding the event. All this information is stored into a tiny energy bubble within your heart. Years later, it gets stimulated, and instantly you are experiencing the feeling you felt in the past. You can actually feel the fear and insecurity of a 5-year-old when you are 60. What happening is the unfinished mental and emotional energy patterns are getting stored and reactivated. Um, wait, still. But it is just important to realize that the most of what you take in does not get blocked. It makes it right through. Imagine how many things you see all the day. That's not all stored like that. Of all these impressions, the only ones that get blocked are those that cause like the problems or some extraordinary sense of enjoyment. Yes, you store positive impressions too. What a wonderful experience happens to you. It doesn't make it through you because you cling to it. Clinging means I don't want it to let go. He told me he loved me. I felt so good and protected. I want to keep reliving that moment. Play it back for me over and over again. Clinging creates positive sanskara and these are stimulated, they release positive energy. Hence, two kinds of experiences can occur that block the heart. You are either trying to push energies away because they bother you, or you are trying to keep energies close because you like them. In both the cases, you are not letting them pass and you are wasting precious energy by blocking the flow through resistance and clinging. The alternative is to enjoy life instead of clinging it or pushing away. If you can live like that, each moment will change you. Each moment will change you. If you are willing to experience the gift of life instead of fighting into it, you will be moving to the depth of your being. When you reach this stage, you begin to see secrets of the heart. Heart is a place which energy flows to sustain you. This energy inspires you and raises you. It strengthens that sense that carries you through life. It is a beautiful experience of love that pours through your whole being. This is meant to be going on inside you at all the time. The highest state you have ever experienced is simply the result of how open you are. If you don't close, it can be like all the time. Don't sell yourself short. That's going on all the time. Unending experiencing, unending love, unending openness. That's the natural state of the healthy heart. To achieve this state, simply allow these experiences of life to come in, pass through your being. If old energies come back up because you are unable to process them before, let them now. It can if that easy. What when that blue light Mustang drives by and you feel fear or jealousy, just smile. Be happy about this Sanskara, which has been stored down all this time, has the opportunity to make it through you. Just open, relax your heart, give love, or do anything you want. Just don't push it back. Of course, it hurts when it comes up. It's stored with pain. It's going to release with pain. You have to decide if you want to continue to walk around with the stored pain, blocking your heart and limiting your life. The alternative is to willingly to let it go when it's stimulated. It only hurts for a minute and then it's over. So you have a choice. Do you want to try to change the world so it doesn't disturb your sanskaras, or you are trying to go through this process of purification? Doesn't make decision based on simulated blockages. Learn to be centered enough to just watch this stuff come up. Once you sit deeply enough inside to stop fighting the stored energy pattern, they'll come up and constantly pass right through you. They'll come up during the day and they will come up during in your dreams. Your heart will become unaccustomed to the process of releasing and cleansing. Just let it all happen. Let it give it over it. Don't process them one by one. That's too slow. Stay centered behind them and let go. Just like the physical body urges bacteria and other foreign material, the natural flow of your energy will purge the stored pattern from your heart. Your reward is a permanently open heart. There is more walls. You live in love and it feeds you and strengthens you. That is an open heart. That is the instrument of the heart as it was meant to be. Allow yourself to experience every note of the heart can play. If you relax and release, this purification of your heart is a wonderful thing. So set your eyes on the higher state you can imagine and don't take them off. If you slip, just get back up. It doesn't matter. The very fact that you want to go through this process of freeing energy flows means that you are great. You will be there. Just keep letting go. Okay. Yeah, I think, yeah. I think a little bit heavy for the content, but I got the gist what he's trying to say. I think he has given a good example so that some people can relate. Okay, why that happens? Like something in the past that comes as soon as you think about it, and if you not let go, then it will it will annoy you, or you will get all those emotional feelings back. Uh, but I think what is missing, he didn't elaborate much on how letting things go. I mean, he's saying that you smile, you accept it, all those things. But I think a little elaboration of how to, I think this is very natural, but it's easier said than done, I think. So, um, like similar, like we have some practice, like when you are angry, you can just count till 10, and you can realize that after counting to 10, your level of angriness goes down a little bit at least. So sometimes I think I was expecting some kind of um, some practical tips kind of things to you know uh, get those events passed through. Or I mean, apart from, yes, you can smile, you can ignore, but still, yeah, that's my thought. You want to go next, Wendy?
You know, many times I've been through this where things are coming up that I'm not really looking forward to, and I think it's because, like, now I know, this is interesting that it's the heart, not the mind. I find that fascinating because I'm, in the past I just try not to think about these things and do other things until I have to deal with it. And this is interesting. Now I have to start thinking about it differently. That's it.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I think Wendy, you're right. There's a website called Hot Math, HEART Math, that talks all about the different aspects of the heart. You both might like it. They also have some practices that helps us to change things. The first thing, I think he made it kind of clear, but not absolutely clear, is that basically there's things we like and there's things we don't like. Actually, to have experiences we like or experiences we don't like is fine. What gets us stuck, I think, is when we actually try to either push them away or cling to them. And when we do that, then that's when the energy gets stuck and there's a little nugget, some skara, that kind of things. In terms of, so the whole lesson here is just feel the whole experience. If you're angry, feel anger. If you're happy, feel happy. But don't cling and don't push away. In terms of what he says, how to let things go, he he gave one example is when in the daily living, you just smile and say, "Oh, that sucks,"
Mm.
feel the pain and let it go. Don't hold on to it. I think in the further chapters, he'll be. I'm guessing I haven't read the part. He'll be talking about things like a formal practice, like a meditation. When we meditate, we open up the heart, and then everything can release. One thing was very interesting is he said that, and I think he's leading up to meditation. Like
Mm.
if you try to think about everything that you love, that you're holding on to, or everything you don't like, and you let go one by one, that takes forever.
Mm.
So I'm going to say something like meditation is like opening up the valve and everything
Mm.
just goes through. And I think he's leading to that by saying, by letting go, releasing all at once,
Mm.
and enjoying life. So yeah, I think that's very in alignment with a lot of the spiritual teachings. And also there's a guy called David Hawkins, David Hawkins. He's died in the 80s, but he actually wrote a book called Letting Go. And so about
Mm.
not holding on to things. So yeah, I need to practice more. And but our meditation in the morning, like even
Mhm.
with 5 minutes with with the group, it's very,
Uh-huh.
very
Okay.
comforting for me.
Yeah, yeah,
So that's it. I have.
yeah. Cool. Okay. Commitments for this week. Yes, for me, I think weekend would be pretty busy. But this week, Thanksgiving week, so we'll have some get-togethers. We don't have much plans. So there is some little bit of shopping that we have planned. But yeah, it depends upon kids and all whether they cooperate or not. But we are planning to buy some small stuff, just just to get the feeling of Thanksgiving. We go out, buy some stuff. Although if some things we don't need. Yeah, and yeah, that's it. I mean, yeah, it will be relaxing. Just 3 days work, so it will be awesome.
Yeah, great.
You want to go next, Wendy?
Well, for me, it's not the inspector, the exterminator comes Tuesday, and then somewhere in the middle of the week, my sister or my brother-in-law will bring me my dinner for Thanksgiving. There won't be yoga this week because it's usually on Thursday, so that's. I still have to keep up with my exercises. That's it. My reading and studying. That's it.
Okay, so thank you guys. So for Thanksgiving, Rich and I are going to our niece's place, and I'm making a pasta dish.
Mm.
I'm thinking like linguine with some veggies and shrimp and beef, or just shrimp or just beef,
Mm.
and then make a fruit salad. So we'll go shopping today for some of that stuff. And then I have two collaboration meetings. I'm working on a video. Maybe I'll talk to my friend about that. And I need to make a phone call. At least maybe I'll try to make 2 phone calls to doctors about my health, my mouth condition and my health. That's all what I have. And of course, be nice to my husband. I'm going to be grateful. I'm going to change it to be grateful and appreciate.
This week, thankful.
Thankful, yeah. And then on Tuesday, I'm facilitating a meditation at the library for this community mindfulness. And it'll be on gratitude. So yeah, thank you, Wendy.
You're welcome.
Okay, that's it.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you, everyone. Have a great Thanksgiving weekend.
Thank you too.
you too.
Thanks. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy
Happy Thanksgiving. Yes. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thanks. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.